don't want to be here. Why am I making a Joe Rogan episode? Like, I can't even look at the camera right now. Oh my god, I don't even like. I wouldn't even make one if it wasn't for everyone. Like, Joe Rogan's not the problem, and I don't like Joe Rogan. I think he's a meathead, and I don't watch the Joe Rogan show anymore. I haven't watched it in like 2 years or something, but he's not the problem. The problem is all these people trying to defend him because Joe Rogan apologized. Joe Rogan said he was wrong, and everyone else is just like, "Oh, he did nothing wrong." Really? He did nothing wrong? Yeah, I cut. Okay, I cut. But really, nothing wrong? He did nothing wrong. Okay, well, if he did nothing wrong, why did he apologize? Why did like what 19? I last time I checked, it was 19% of Spotify users either quit Spotify or is thinking about quitting Spotify over Joe Rogan. And I'll say two things. One, Joe Rogan really did take over the entire platform when he went to Spotify, which hey, I respect. That's a power move, right? We watch Power, Book Four, Force, Tony, is his name Tony? I forget. But like, yeah, like that's you can't see my hands. But like, yeah, that's normal. Like, I mean, he's a big name. I respect the fact that he was able to, you know, I respect his move with Spotify. Here's my thing. One, one. All things come to an end. You can't be big forever. That's just not true. Like, eat like in anything. So I think his time has passed in terms of him at Spotify, not necessarily like him as a broadcaster. I think he'll still be broadcasting. He has the platform. Without Spotify, he has the technology to do so, and he seems to be motivated to do it. So I'm not gonna come after Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna name drop people who I would have come after because they're pretty famous, and I'm not trying to blow up on YouTube again like I did with the Tim Cass video. Fuck that shit. But uh, that's why I curse, just to mess up the algorithm. Yeah, I'm cutting again. Snip, snip. Okay, back from my little cut. Regain my thoughts. So my issue, I'm gonna just say the takes that I heard. Right. Well, I'm gonna name drop Tucker Carlson because he's a broadcaster and that's his like. Oh my god, Tucker Carlson. So I didn't watch his video. I just watched the YouTube title talking about how politicians shouldn't censor broadcasters. And on face value, yeah, politicians shouldn't censor broadcasters. But within the context of what's happening in society that I know Tucker Carlson is aware of because he's a reactionary, he's talking about Joe Rogan. Like that's the only person that's in the spotlight right now that is being censored. They didn't take him off the platform, right? Like Spotify did everything in their power to keep Joe Rogan on Spotify, and they lost people. Like they like well like I'm gonna take an L to keep Joe Rogan. So let's not act like Joe Rogan was actually censored. He had some of his content removed for I don't know how to describe it. Like political correctness reasons, I guess is the best way to say it, which I know is a dirty word, but it's accurate. And I saw anywhere from 70 to 100 episodes. Here's my thing. One, not every opinion, I mean, not every, let me rephrase that. Some opinions have expiration dates, right? Like sometimes we need to voice an opinion to figure out if it's valid or not. And sometimes those opinions aren't valid. I think Joe Rogan made way more than 100 episodes. I think he's on 1,000 episodes. So let's just say for the sake of my math, he made 1,000 episodes. I know he made more than 1,000 episodes, but I'm gonna just say he made 1,000 episodes, and 100 got knocked off. Right? That's 10%. That's 10% of the server. Mind you, it costs money to keep stuff up on servers, right? So it's not like you need a server to keep something on the internet. So that's 10%, right? That's 10% of his content knocked off the server. Now let's think about this from Spotify's perspective. Up to 19%. That's the highest number I saw. 19% of Spotify users do not want to be on the platform anymore or have already left the platform. So already Joe Rogan has done more damage to Spotify than Spotify has done to Joe Rogan. So I don't I think, right? The only people I see upset, I don't think, the only people I see upset about this Joe Rogan thing are like really famous, not even just like low level, but like the highest level of entertainers and only people who say really controversial shit. Now, here's my thing. You want to say controversial shit? Say controversial shit. But, like, you might lose your fan base. And whose fault is that? You can't sit here and demand, like, I know, I'm not going to say his name because I kind of respect him and I don't want him to be branded as a racist. But there was one comedian who was talking about how, like, they're labeling Joe Rogan, like, all these slurs, like, racist, homophobe, whatever. And I'm like, that's not new. People have been saying that about Joe Rogan for years. It's part of the reason why I stopped watching him, because I don't want to be involved in that conversation. And he doesn't say anything particularly interesting to me that I can't find on something like somewhere else. Like, yeah, he'll have really cool guests, but those guests are usually famous enough or talented enough to have their own platforms. They don't need Joe Rogan's platform, even though Joe Rogan's platform is bigger. So from that perspective, like, I don't care. Like, there's nobody on Joe Rogan that I can't just see off of Joe Rogan besides Joe Rogan, for real. Or, I mean, I know he has his niche UFC group, but I don't follow UFC. I don't follow wrestling. I go to the gym, but I'm not like a meathead about it. I will stop. I don't take pre-work. I had to burp. Sorry. I don't take pre-workout. So it's like, this is not the community for me. So I choose not to engage with it. And that was a personal choice. And that was a personal choice that like 19% of Spotify users made, right? They just choosing not to engage with Spotify because they don't agree with what he's saying. And these bigger broadcasters are making it seem like it wasn't the choice of individuals. Like, last time I checked, America's a capitalist society. And although we have a faction of people who don't want it to be, Joe Rogan and the people who I see criticizing what happened to Joe Rogan aren't those people, like, at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like I said, I'm not gonna name drop the comedian because I don't want his name to be slandered because I kind of like him. But like, I can definitely say that he's not a socialist. He's definitely a capitalist. So because he says stuff like that. So I think we need to come to, like, are we gonna accept capitalist rule structure and say that money votes and people voted with their money and decided they don't want to support Joe Rogan? Or are we gonna say that we live in some weird, I don't, like, to force people to listen to Joe Rogan would be exactly what the left is accusing the right of. It'd be exactly what they're accusing the right of, especially the far right. Because let's not, like, everyone wants to act like they don't know what we mean by the far right, but it really is the YouTube far right. Like, it is the YouTube pipeline to the far right. Like, let's be real. Like, so, like, what are we gonna do here? Because I'm not gonna sit here and say we should censor all of the far right. Like, that's not me. I don't really engage in that form of politics. I mean, I think some people should be censored, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it. But I'm just not gonna listen either. Like, you could turn that shit off, and people turned it off, and now it's like, oh, this is a threat to society. Like, it's not a threat to society. People, especially people on the higher ends of entertainment, are always saying how social media is fake, how, you know, we shouldn't listen to people who we don't want to listen to, and they're always real quick to attack like politicians for, oh, we shouldn't listen to these guys. But the second you do it to an entertainer, it's like, oh, this is cancel culture. Like, was Joe Rogan really canceled? Or did people on Spotify decide they just want to use a different streaming service for music? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even use Spotify. I use YouTube Music. Like, I don't care about what's happening on Spotify. I'm just tired of people saying that, I'm just tired of people treating consumers like they don't have free will. Like, yeah, most of us will never be as famous as Joe Rogan, and we'll only ever be able to, like, pay to listen to him. But you know what? That's a choice. You know, people choose to listen to Joe Rogan. If they don't like what he has to say, or they don't like the people he has to platform, they have a choice to leave that platform. Like, there are other platforms. We live in a capitalist American society. You can go to other places for your podcasting and music needs. Like, I don't know, man. What's going on? Like, you guys are acting crazy. Like, the right is acting so crazy. They're not even. And when I say crazy, I don't mean crazy in the sense that the left thinks they're wrong. I mean crazy in the sense that they're not even living up to their values anymore. And these are like values from last year. These aren't even values from like, a generation ago. Like, consumers choose with their money. That's a capitalist value that Republicans are always pushing. They're always saying vote with your money. Don't platform these liberals that you don't like. And the second it happens to them, it's a problem. Like, play the game or don't play the game. But don't be a baby about it. Like